In this video, I wanted to go over a few of the prototyping tools within Figma and talk about how to set up a prototype from a few screens, and then also look at some other techniques that you might go into when you're first starting out with prototyping. I'm in Figma and I've opened up a new page. I'm going to make a few frames to hold some iPhone screens. So I'm going to hit frames and I'm going to go to iPhone 13. I've actually taken screenshots of something. I thought maybe we'd start off just with flat images and just want to isolate and go over how you can create sort of clickable areas within your prototype. So I'm gonna just add these screenshots that I've taken. So it came in a little bit large, but I will fix that. I basically just took some screenshots of my Google Maps app. So I want it to fit inside the screen, which is 390 by 844. So I'm just going to click on that and change that. Just going to align it like this. And now that I have this, I have two other screens that I wanted to connect to. So I'm just going to make copies and then I'm just going to go in and just change the images in here. Now that I've done one, it should be a little bit faster. So I'm clicking on the image and then I'm going to the fill and just switching that image. Okay, so these are three screens that show my progress through the app. What I wanted to do is start with the map. Clicked on this restaurant button, and it took me to a list of restaurants. And then I clicked on the first restaurant that came up, Cliff's PDX. So I just wanted to show how I could link these together and make a clickable prototype. So if you look, we're in the design mode up here. We're going to switch to prototype mode. What I'm going to do is make the whole. Right now, there's only one element on each frame. I could just make that whole image clickable. And maybe that's good to start off with to just show you. So we'll go to prototype. What's nice is you can change the device that you're using. In this case, I'm going to keep it the same because my screen is set to that. But you could change what that looks like. You can even change the model in here. And you can change the background, if you needed to. So that could be handy if you're doing some sort of branded prototype and you want to have that color change there. So what we're going to do is select a frame or object in the frame, as it says here, and then create a node to something else. So I'm going to just click on this whole thing. Right now, it's just the whole frame. Again, that's kind of what we said. So you could click on either the frame or the image or the asset. And there's a little node that just popped up right here. And when I hover over it, it turns to a plus. And I'm just going to click and drag. And I'm going to attach it to the screen that I want it to go to. So in this case, I just wanted to go to the next screen. So it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to get this menu. So on the tap, or you have other options on drag, hovering, mouse enter for different prototypes. So I'm going to do on tap. I'm on a phone. Navigate to. There are overlays and other things that you could jump to, or there's also a back button. There's scrolling as well, but I'm just going to do a simple prototype. This is just our first time getting into it. And you could have animations in, dissolving or smart animate if you have. There's a powerful function in Figma. If you have the file set up correctly, you can actually animate in between things. It's really nice. Move in, move out, push, slide in, slide out. I'm just going to, again, keep it simple. I just wanted to show how to set up your prototype. To go to the next screen, again, do we want the frame or do we want this element to be the active element that we can click on? I'm going to click and drag on that circle and then connect it. By default, I'm going to just use those same settings. Okay, so now we've set this up. And you can see after you've added those in here, these arrows that are connected. And if you have a really complex prototype, you might have arrows all over the place, different buttons going to different areas, but this is very simple. So you can just see what that looks like. And in order for me to test this out, what I'm going to do is go up to this play button here, present, and it's going to use the settings that I picked earlier. So I think the phone setting, whoops, I guess I never changed that color back. It was stuck on the red. It really, actually it's really bothering me. Oh, I did change this. I'm not sure why it's coming out as red. There we go. Just fix that. Maybe it was just a little bug. Okay, so I can click anywhere on this. It's going to take me to the next page. Click anywhere on this, and it takes me to that detail of the restaurant. So that's how that would work. Let's go over maybe something a little more, adding a little bit more functionality or something you might see. So I can just delete these connections because I want to set up a different kind of situation. What I want to do, let's say, is only make one area clickable. What I could do is draw a little element here and maybe put no fill or no stroke on it, and it would become clickable. So here you can see that I'm in the prototype mode, and so I can just connect this over to the next page. Same settings, going to leave it as it is. This is visible right now, but if I was designing this from scratch, it would probably be an actual button. But what I'm going to do is go to my, switch between prototype and design, go back to design, and just maybe turn off the fill like this. And then I'll do a similar thing. Maybe here I'll just make the area, maybe it's just this area. Again, we're trying to just think about what are the clickable areas that we might connect to, and then again, I want to prototype it, but I'm not getting that option because I'm not in prototype mode. So switch it back, click and drag. Let's go over to this screen. Let's keep the settings the same. Let's check out the demo now. I think now so now you can see when I click, it's telling me that actually that's the clickable area. So if I click down here, nothing changes. If I click up here on that restaurants button, it will move. And when I click, up here, it doesn't do anything because I need to click in this area. So it gives me a little bit more realistic prototype because I'm actually clicking in the areas that I need to actually click on. All right, so that's just a quick overview of prototyping. Let's look at some other things that you might run into when you first start creating these prototypes. I'm going to create another prototype, but this time I'm going to actually look at some other functions and look at maybe having more control or actually customizing the prototype based off of the existing design. So this is a situation where maybe I have most of the app already set up, but I just want to test something real quick and see, what that looks like, see what that feels like. So I'm going to start again with this. I just made a new page, so I'm in a new area. I just have this one screen that I want to start with first. What I'm kind of interested in is, can I chop this up a little bit to, maybe try inserting different elements? And, if I had the original Figma file, it would be great. I could just pop in there, but let's say I would just want to make a quick prototype. I'm going to go and let's say I want this map to be, I want to edit or throw in a different map here. I don't like the look of this or, something else. So, but I want to keep the top and maybe this card on the bottom. So one thing I could do with the image, and again, I have that rectangle there from earlier. I'm just going to delete that. One thing I could do is kind of crop out or mask these sections and keep some of them and leave some of them. So let's say I just wanted this top section. What I'm going to do is create a rectangle that's the same size of that. I know that if I can use the clipping or the mask tool here. I put that shape underneath the image that I want to be masked, and I'll hit that button, and there I've kind of isolated that one feature. I'm going to duplicate that image because I need it later, and I'm just going to pull it out of this. You can see on the side, this is that clipping or the masking that's going on. So let's say I want this piece down here. Again, what I'll do is get a rectangle, put it below, and actually I got to be, there we go. So I have these two elements, and then from there I could throw in maybe a different map. So here's the map that I found, and I just want to make sure, you know, it's not within the clipping mask. I want to pull it out and, you know, make sure it's also in the frame. There we go. The layer order matters. So if I want it to sit underneath everything, you know, I could move it here. So this is a way for me to, like, let's say I had a different map that I wanted to see what it looked like. I mean, this is from Google Maps, so it looks similar, but, you know, this is a way for me to test it out and just kind of cut it up, Frankenstein it. Let's see some other things we might want to try. So I'm going to turn off this piece at the bottom. One thing that you might want to do is have a header at the top that stays fixed. So that's something we could do. I'm gonna just make this into a group so that I can quickly set that up. If you go over to design, and down here I've selected that, you can just say fix position one scrolling. So I'm gonna fix that position, and that way when I look at the demo of it, the prototype, I should be able to scroll down. I'm scrolling down on that map, and that top part stays fixed. So that could be a useful feature. So vertical scrolling is pretty easy to do in Figma. We're used to it. If you have content on the screen that goes off, you know, it can just come outside the frame, and we can keep scrolling down on it. I wanted to talk about how you might do a horizontal scroll, which is something you might need to do for a map, right? And I'm gonna actually make this a lot bigger so that, you know, I have more area to scroll to, and just to show you, if I demo this right now, I can scroll down pretty well, but I can't go sideways. I can't scroll that way. So the way to get around that is to kind of create a frame around this content, this area that I want to scroll around, and then select a setting in prototype mode. So I'm going to take this image, right click, and go to frame selection, and you should see that a frame has appeared here. You know, that icon. We're going to just adjust the frame this way, and that should be, that limits the area that we're scrolling in. If you go to overflow scrolling over here, what you can do is say horizontal and vertical scrolling, so that lets us go sideways. I think this will work as it is. Let's see. Yeah, now I can move sideways. I can also move that vertically. It might be good to keep everything working properly, to also, you know, take that frame and set the boundary for the screen. I think it might be a little bit cleaner. Yep, it's a little bit cleaner that way. So again, what we did is we took the content, made a frame around it. We went to overflow scrolling and turned on horizontal and vertical scrolling. You can select from here, but this is another tool to give you to allow you to make some prototypes that feel more real.